Let's see. Same way the Aiden does. Meanwhile, my stat device emergency modes gives me access to all of the 4 traditional magical elements as well as non-traditional ones such as ice, acid, and electricity. I'm also thinking that my current power level is somewhat comparable to that of each Stillwater, but I can't be 100% sure of that because I've never had the opportunity to fight mages on equal terms before. So he has enough power to equal to one of the Stillwaters. So these are normal still waters. Like when you hear still water, whenever they talked about the winter or the still winter, I always kind of imagine like everyone being on Aiden's level. That's why I was always found that still winter was even a thing, and they even managed to kill so many still waters. But I suppose a lot of the still waters are not as strong as Aiden. They're not even close to being strongest Aiden, because these still waters seem to be like on a level of like above mages. I'm guessing one of these still waters when they're alive was on the same level as that one super mage that we saw who used the sonic attack. Maybe we'll say. I can't really put a number on it because there's no quantifying way to tell just yet. So and I think I've never seen a show that actually has gone into like quantifying magic or quantifying a key or whatever. Not to a major extent. Dragon Ball Z did it a little bit. I've never had the opportunity to fight mages on equal terms before. The question now is what the focus of our fight should be. If we are just aiming to buy time until a necromancer spell runs out, then our best bet would be to keep reinforcing Darren's barrier while attacking the skeletons from afar. Our main target in this case should be supporting Stillwater, since he would be the one constantly trying to weaken our barrier. And since killing the necromancer would not actually cancel his spell before its time limit, if our aim were instead to eliminate the Stillwaters directly, our best bet would probably be to aim for the necromancer, since the skeleton's main priority would be to defend their master, and this would serve to disrupt the rhythm. How do we know the skeletons have the main priority to serve the protect the necromancer? It's not 100% on that. Now the question is, what condition are they in? I believe the necromancer can't really do anything, but he does have his buddy, which might unleash a spell. But if we directly attack, we might break our line of defense, whatever barely standing line of defense we have. And the problem is, like, even in a moment's, even if we don't manage to kill the necromancer, the skeletons will be around, and if one spell goes through us, someone might die behind us. So in our team, by the way. So I think it would be better to buy time until the spell runs out. I think that would be better, or like maybe try to run away or something. Yeah, I'll try to do that. Guys, I think I may have a plan. What the hell? Darren says, what's with the crazy magical energy radiating from you all of a sudden? Don't tell me that Aiden froze time again to give you magic powers. No, I say as I start to reinforce the magical barrier. It wasn't Aiden. I just used my device to harness the energy that's being leaked from the still waters. You can do that now? Darren asks me. Apparently I say. So what's with this plan of yours then? Says Darren. Darren is the healer dude, right? The sword healer dude that was with us. The first guy we met. Well, I say, remember how Azarius told us last time that Necromancer's spell only lasts 5 minutes and that it can only be cast once a day? I was thinking that we could just wait them out while we keep reinforcing the barrier, attacking them from a distance. In that case, I'm hoping that you have some really good reinforcement spell, Darren says, because I'm pretty much already exhausted all of mine. What is that supposed to mean? Oh, wait, hold on. I pretty much exhausted all of mine? That makes no sense, because the main important thing is the spells is just knowledge that the person casting them has, and then there's mana which they use to cast the spells. So is he saying he's like these are one-off spells? I mean, I suppose the necromancer spell is a one-off spell. Yeah, that makes no sense. Why would he be restricted to use it once a day? Which basically means that these spells are more of part of a system. Like have you ever read a system-based manga or manhwa? You will see that system-based things are like the system dictates whether you can use a attack spell more than once. So it's not like if you use a spell that uses majority of your power, you can recharge within that day and use it again. But if it's a system-based spell, then the world controls that, so you cannot use it more than once per day. Don't worry, I say. You just focus on keeping the barrier. I'll take care of the reinforcements. I turn towards Flower and Kidak. Can you three put some pressure on the still waters where Darren and I keep the barrier up? I say. Aye, sir. Flower says as she performs a military salute with her right hand. I'll see what I can do, Kate says. Try to aim for the skeleton maintaining the magical barrier as much as possible. I say. He's the one that's going to be busy undoing my reinforcement spells. What am I supposed to do all this time? Hardrick says. Well, you can I start to say, but I pause to think for a second. You can be our last line of defense. Make sure to punch back all their spells in case our barrier fails before the time limit. Great, Hardwick says. It's time like these that make me regret the fact that I didn't bring a pack of playing cards with me when I joined the tournament. Once everyone agrees to follow my plan, I go back to reinforcing Duran's barrier while Kate, Flower, and Iluna start to cast their spells at the Stillwater. Holding the barrier against so many simultaneous attacks is proving to be a little more difficult than I originally thought. Duran is already at his limit, and keeping the barrier up by myself is quickly starting to drain me of my energy. The girls don't seem to be doing very well either, because they have yet to break through the skeleton's barrier, while the sporting Stillwater is still doing all he can to counter my reinforcement spells. This isn't working. I need to revise my plan, or we're not going to last until the 5-minute mark. Oh, this is a problem. I thought this would be a better option. What the hell? Fuck's sake, I've read it through. Like that one guy who said that I don't read this through. I read this through. I still don't know what the solution is. The hell? I thought that would be better to hold back and conserve energy and be on a defensive, because defensive would require less energy. Offensive requires more energy, but okay, whatever. Hardwick, I say, there's been a change of plans. How would you like to provide a little distraction for us? The dwarf's face lights up when he hears my suggestions. Now we're talking, Barry, he says with a wide grin. What do you want me to do? Should I go and attack the necromancer, give them a little scare? Yeah, that's exactly what I had in mind. I say, hold on, let me cast a few protections on you first. Once I'm done with casting the protection spells on Hardwick, the dwarf lashes out of the barrier and he reaches the necromancer in a few seconds. The air elementalist quickly reacts quickly and uses a wind spell to push Hardwick back several dozen feet. But by the time Hardwick gets back, the supporting skeleton places a magical barrier around their master, which the dwarf is now trying to break with a flurry of fists. No, you're doing it all wrong, Araka shouts at us from inside her amulet. Stop attacking the whole barrier, focus on just one point. Can't you see how slowly the supporting mage is reinforcing individual parts of the barrier? It's because he has never learned how to properly localize his energy output. I kept telling him about it 600 years ago, but the idiot wouldn't believe me until I demonstrated it to him by using a goddamn tree branch to break through his barrier and puncture his lungs. Taking advice from Araka is not something I'm particularly keen on doing right now, but as I take a look towards the skeleton's magic barrier, I can at least tell that she is not lying. The magical energy spread thin throughout the barrier, which helps a great deal against spells with a wide range of effect, but it should leave it vulnerable against more focused attacks. So why hasn't been Kate able to puncture it so far? Because her attack should be very pinpointed, because she throw literally ice at them. Well, okay. Start charging up a lightning attack in my hands, and when it becomes powerful enough, I aim it directly at the supporting mage, making sure that all of the power behind my strike is concentrated at a single point. My skeleton strike goes straight through the skeleton's barrier and hits the supporting Stillwater in the skull. I'm confusing Stillwater and skeleton in this, killing him instantly. As the magic barrier starts to disappear, the other 4 skeletons now that were hiding underneath it are now standing around looking very confused. I take advantage of this and use a great deal of magical power to create a large pool of acid underneath the Stillwaters. What is it? Okay, whatever. The skeletons were caught unawares because the reason I'm confused a little bit is because Kate's abilities I can kind of understand a little bit. She could pull moisture from the surroundings to create her icicles. It doesn't really make sense that much, but this is just ridiculous. How did I just manifest acid down there? I suppose it's magic, not key, that we are dealing with, because actually that would be very confusing if this was key. But still, magic allows you to just break the laws of all fucking thing, because conservation of mass shouldn't allow this, but whatever. Large pool of acid underneath the Stillwater. The skeletons were caught unawares and they had no time to react as they all sink slowly into the pool of acid. The air elementalist used a wind spell to lift the upper half of his body that hasn't yet been melted into the air, but I quickly raised 2 chunks of rocks from the ground, used them to smash the skeleton's head between them. Eventually all the skeletons fully sink into the acid, and as my device's energy depletes completely, the pool of acid disappears. Skeletons had, however, already completely melted before this happened, which means that the necromancer is now the only enemy left standing. Doesn't he have one of these guys with him? He just said that he was with this guy, but whatever. No, Zack shouts as the barrier around him begins to disappear. I won't let it end like this. Right after he finishes his sentence, the necromancer takes a knife out of its robes and he uses it to stab himself in the chest. He then gets enveloped in a bright red light, and soon afterwards he starts turning into ash. The god of death shall have his prize. Oh, is he doing like a death attack or something? The god of death shall have his prize, Zack says just before he draws his last breath. As we all gather around to look at the pile of ashes that the necromancer has turned into, Hardwick starts to laugh. As far as final words go, I've heard better, the dwarf says.